and dance number. Thank you.
So the first hope thing is that all of these older people were saying that the scene now is completely different to what it was like when they were first working in the 70s and 80s. Firstly, people really give a shit now. We were just hearing about 80,000 people in London marching for specifically to restore nature. That just wasn't on the cards a few decades ago, and that is absolutely awesome, and we should all be really happy about that. When you speak to the converted, everyone's loving it, and when you speak to even neutral people who aren't as actively engaged, people just do care and they do listen, and that's different and that's awesome. Another thing they mentioned is that money is in the conservation world now, and money's obviously icky and comes with a whole host of new problems, which I'll yap about briefly as well. But that wasn't true at all, and it was understood that if you go into conservation as like a passion job a few decades ago, you're going to earn nothing, no projects have any money, it's just a dead end in that sense. But the money has arrived, and that is going to facilitate a lot of nature restorations, like payments for ecosystem services, biodiversity net gain kind of shit is what I'm yapping about. It's got its issues, but it's really good news that it's here, and for a long time it wasn't, so that's amazing. Onto the scary thing is, I think in the next decade, the kind of environmental problems we're going to face are going to look really different to the ones that we faced in the last few decades. The first one that I'd love everyone to stay just 10% more alert to across your lives and careers is greenwashing.
We all know what's coming up on Thursday the 4th of July, and we all know that we need to vote for what we care about, which is making actual change for the climate and nature emergency on the 4th of July, and choosing the party that we think could do that. But we all know that, but those people out there maybe don't, and that's kind of our role. We need to organize those people. We need to help them organize themselves. We need to support that process. We need to send that message out there, engage them, because ultimately they're the ones who are going to help us make the real change, and we're the facilitators of that. And that's what I found so fantastic about the Restore Nature Now March, and what is so fantastic that we're doing it here in Glastonbury, and hopefully we can get as many different people as possible from all different walks of life joining us for our march right now. So thank you very much. Over to you, Lou. Nice.
Thank you ever so much. Yeah, so just to recap, I mean, last week we had our 5 demands. We had, our first one was around, and we've touched on pretty much all of these in the last sort of half hour of everybody sort of saying what they've said. You know, we wanted to see a pay rise for nature. I want to whoop for every one of these demands, by the way. I'm jealous of y'all whooping and clapping. I loved it. So yeah, the first demand that we had was a pay rise for nature. And that is also on the way. We're starting to see that come through. And there's a big focus on farming there as well. So, you know, I took a bit of a walk along the Southwest Coast Path a few weeks ago. And it was really, really telling of, you know, of contrast, really. So if you walk along the coast path, it's stunning, right? It's really steep, it's gorgeous, there's trees, there's all sorts of scrub. There were yellowhammers in abundance, there were soil buntings, which are a really rare bird you find down in Devon. There was all sorts of other stuff. It was brimming with life. You go to the tops of those cliffs, there was a fence, right? Behind that fence was farmland for as far as you could see, and there were no yellowhammers, there were no soil buntings, there were no chiff-chaffs, you know, and the reason wildlife has been pushed right to the edge there was, you know, essentially because it was too steep to farm.
Alex, get up here. Here we go!
Yes, a new generation taking all the books to tearing all the pages. This is the song that you love it. This is song that made me put it on it. Hey, it's a new generation coming in hot. This can't get tight spaces. Pull up. You don't know much where you're going. Junglist, that's it up. Now put it on. Everyone take a chance, cause this is how you're gonna be put it on. Put it on. Put it on. Put it on. Put it on, put it on. Put it on, put it on. One more time and put it on. Put it on, put it on.
Restore nature now!
Right, anybody want to march? Feeling protesty? It's Glastonbury, right? Let's let off some steam. We're going to head off that way, led by the pigeon. Pick up a placard if you want.
What do we want? Restore nature! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Restore nature! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Restore nature! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Restore nature! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Restore nature! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Restore nature! When do we want it? Now! Species not faces! Species not faces! Species not faces! Species not faces! Now!